everybody. Hi, this is Valerieann, and I'm in Long Bennington, England, having a great time. Great time exploring, seeing new places, and still thinking about doTERRA and the business, because we love the business, right? So I do anyway. I've built a very successful team and business that has given me the freedom to be in beautiful places like this, and business as usual, right? The freedom to travel and be wherever I want to be. So what I'm going to talk about today is, where do you place people when you've invited them to a class, or maybe even somebody had a class and invited you to teach it, but people show up in the class and maybe they all came and it's their first time to be introduced to doTERRA, and they're friends, or maybe they're in the same group, maybe they know the same people. What do you do? Good question. So that's what I'm going to share with you right now. Just flip it around here again and give you a fun little view here while I'm sharing this. So on the business end of things, so imagine that you've invited some people to a class and you're teaching that class, and you get done and people have enrolled. They really want to do this, they just want to get the oils. You don't know for sure at that point if somebody really wants to do the business or not, do you? Do you really know? Well, they don't know either. They're new. But here is a key thing that you want to consider when you're trying to decide where to place people. And so let's just look at this one scenario. Oh, there's somebody out there with a couple of dogs. I don't know if you can see it. He's throwing some sticks and the dogs are chasing it. Anyway, a little side note. While I'm talking about business, right? Anyway, so here is what I would give you as a tip for what to do in this kind of situation. Is number one, put yourself in the place of those people. Consider what it would feel like for you if you were there with, say, two of your friends, right? And you were both there for the first time being introduced to doTERRA. Your first time to find out about it, and you and your friends are all excited about it, but somebody else invited you to the class. Okay, so in that situation, what do? Well, think about it. What if none of you know if you're going to do the business or not, and the person who is in charge of the class, or I hope that mic's okay, charge of enrolling, they're suggesting to you some different scenarios of how you could be placed. So the option is that you could be placed directly under the person who invited you, right? Or say one of the three of you, we're just going to consider that there are three of you who attended the class, and you're all friends, you know each other, but it's your first time for all of you. You're together in it. You're right at the same time. So sometimes people suggest that it's good to stack people that know each other, and that's a good way to consider things. It's like to place one under the other. But imagine if that's you, I was just saying hi to somebody's here. If that's you and your friends have attended the first time, who is above whom? How would that feel if, say, it was stacked? Okay, so let's put you all together because you know each other, right? So imagine that you are the person down on the third level. So, the person in charge of the class decided to place one of the friends directly under them, the other friend under that friend, and you as the third person down under. How would that feel to you if you were on equal ground with them and you attended the same class and found out at the same time. What would you prefer? What would you prefer as to where you would want to be placed? That's a good thing to ask right there. What would you want? Imagine thinking down the road, you know, that maybe you're building business and so is your friend, but everything you do is helping them, and you realize that it could have just as easily been flipped the other way, and you could have been the top person and had your friends under you. It's like it kind of gets a little sticky that way, right? And so, you know, what if you were all placed directly under the person that invited you? Then you all have that equal, balanced start. It seems to me that it's more fair. And even though you know the same people, it's up to each one of you to invite whom you invite and to do the business or not, right? So, you know, there are all kinds of ways of looking at it, and there's no absolute yes or no, right or wrong, but this was just something for you to consider when you're looking at where to place people. It's what would it feel like for you in each one of those situations? If that was you, what would you want? And think about it down the road. What is that going to mean to each person? Because above all, this is a business that is all about creating good, positive relationships with people. Because if you want to build a business that is solid, you need to have really good relationships with the people that are on your team, the people that are building for now and down the road. You want good feelings. So consider that. Sometimes, you know, you get in a hurry to place people down under to build volume for yourself or to get to rank. And, you know, you can build really fast that way, but it creates a lot of issues down the road for relationships. And that's what's going to take you. Good relationships are going to take you further and create a long-term residual income for you. And it's not just about today. If you really understand how doTERRA works, it's about creating income that will last you when you're 70, 80, 90 years old. And like I like to say in doTERRA, we're going to be 110, 120, 150 years old because we're using essential oils in the products. So think about long term when you're placing people on your team, okay? That's my advice or my wisdom for today.